Kilalanin po natin ang ating 29 Coast Guard Commandant na si Admiral ARTEMIO M. Abo.
He's the second among the 11 children of Mr. Benjamin Andaya Abo and Mrs. Lolita Manalo Abo, and takes pride of his status as a farmer's son. He valued the importance of education and excelling academically, where he completed his elementary and secondary education as valedictorian point. He is a graduate of the Philippine Military Academy, ang Laudiwa class of 1992 in Baguio City, where he completed his bachelor's degree in the upper one-third of the class. He has completed his master's degree in marine management at Dalhousie University in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. He has also taken some units at the College of Law at Adamson University. He has undergone various local and foreign studies, among others. The very important Person Protection and Security course of the Presidential Security Group Training School in Malacanang Park, Manila. Global Maritime Distress and Safety System General Operators course, as well as the Maritime Search and Rescue course at the Maritime Training Center in Fremantle, Western Australia. The Basic Firefighting course in Maritime Disaster Prevention Training Center, Yokosuka, Japan, and the Individual Training course in Search and Rescue at the Japan Coast Guard Headquarters in Tokyo, Japan. He has also completed various training in Coast Guard operations under the United States Coast Guard Training Team and Communications and Crisis Management trainings through the professors of Cranfield University in the United Kingdom. He has represented the country during the Maritime Safety and Risk Analysis Conference in Nova Scotia, Canada, and during the Philippine-Japan-Indonesia Marine Pollution Exercise in SINO, Indonesia. He also served as the head of the Philippine delegation during the International Maritime Organization conventions that were held in London, in South Korea, and in Thailand. He was sent by the Philippine government to the United States Coast Guard Training Center in Yorktown, Virginia, and to Beijing, China, to observe the best practices in the conduct of training of the Coast Guard, being a universal and humanitarian service. Of the national headquarters of the Coast Guard, he has served as the Staff Weapons Communication and Information System CG-11, Staff for Ships and Aircraft Repair and Maintenance CG-10, and Staff for Education and Training CG-12. A technical advisor to the Presidential Advisor for Western Visayas during the Guimaras oil spill incident, and PCG focal person for the technical design of the 10 44-meter multi-role responsive vessels, MRRV, acquired in Japan, and 5 PCG vessels built in France. As a Coast Guard officer, he has been assigned as the provincial head of the Coast Guard in Camarines provinces, province of Masbate and Puerto Princesa City in Palawan. He has also served as a commanding officer of various categories of PCG ships, where he has earned the most coveted command at sea badge. He was also assigned as the commander of Coast Guard 24th, which takes care of the career management of officers and men who are assigned aboard ship, as well as the maintenance and operational readiness of all floating assets of the Philippine Coast Guard. A Ready Force commander, he was instrumental in the design, identification of technical specification, and qualifying the manning requirements for the 15 brand new Coast Guard vessels which were acquired by the Philippine government from Japan and in France. By virtue of his exceptional organizational skills, management and leadership, he was entrusted by the PCG leadership to organize the Coast Guard District in Southern Visayas, covering the provinces of Negros Occidental, Negros Oriental, and Siquijor. Said district takes pride of his achievements as the pioneering district commander who is tremendously adored and respected by his men, the PCGAs, the maritime stakeholders, and the community as well. He was also assigned as the district commander of Coast Guard District Southern Tagalog, covering the provinces of Batangas, Quezon, Marinduque, Mindoro Oriental, Mindoro Occidental, and Romblon. During the recent Taal volcano eruption incident, he was designated as the commander of the PCG Task Force Taal, a response organization of the commander, which earned recognition and accolades from the affected community, the responders, other government agencies, and the media, and eventually propelled the Coast Guard as the uniformed maritime and humanitarian service of the country. He has also served as the deputy commander and subsequently designated as acting commander of the Marine Environmental Protection Command, a commander of the Coast Guard Education Training and Doctrine Command. Recently, he was recognized by the Philippine Military Academy as the Distinguished Cavalier Awardee for 2021 in the field of Coast Guard operation, the highest recognition given to a PMA alumnus for outstanding achievements in the field of endeavor. He is married to the former Miss Carlota Vergara of Luta Norte and blessed with 4 children. Kevin Paul, a certified public accountant working at AECOM International. Carissa Pamela, a second year in College of Medicine at the University of the Philippines, Manila. Kurt Patrick, third year engineering student at the University of Santo Tomas. And Karina Paula, a second-year high school student at the Lasal Lipa. His vision for the Philippine Coast Guard is to liken its existence to the basic but most important unit of society, the family. He is very consistent in his advocacy. Dapat ay maging isang pamilya tayo na nagkakaisa, may malasakit sa bawat isa, at may magandang pakikitungo sa komunidad. He wants to establish the identity and culture of the Coast Guard, culture of respect, culture of discipline, culture of trust, teamwork, and selfless public service. Among his first agenda is to define the core values of the Coast Guard and promote good human relations among fellow Coast Guardians. Ladies and gentlemen, Coast Guard Admiral Artemio Abo.
Let us all give a round of applause for the Commandant of ARTEMIO.
Tinanas for that very generous and kind introduction. This occasion is very important to me. Not because I will be meeting here the senior officers of the Coast Guard here in Coast Guard Base Taguig, not only because I will be meeting here the stakeholders of the Coast Guard here in Taguig, the supporters of the Coast Guard, community leaders of the Coast Guard, but most especially because the outgoing base commander is my longtime good friend. Ang tawagan po namin ay kamag-anak. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi ko siya kaano-ano. Classmate ko siya sa staff course. At nung nasa formative years kami sa career namin, I was then assigned in Malacanang. And I took up the VIP protection course. Siya doon ay dental service officer sa Malacanang dental service. Tapos nung mag-take kami ng staff course, to qualify ourselves to be promoted to the rank as Lieutenant Commander, classmate namin siya sa staff course. Senior siya sa akin di Hama, 2 o 3 taon sa serbisyo, pero sabay-sabay kami lumaki sa serbisyo. Ang tawag namin noong araw sa kanya ay Totoy Mola. Totoy Mola, naka-extract ng ngipin. Huwag niyo siyang gagalitin. Pag ginalit kayo, tatanggalan kayo ng ngipin every time na siya magagalit. Kasi ka na kasama ng roasting dito. Kasi nagmamadali ako at marami pang engagement na naghihintay with the secretary. So napakalaga ng pagtitipong ito para sa akin because of those reasons mentioned. And this occasion really is very significant in those issues. Dahil nandito po kayo ng mga kaibigan, mga nakatrabaho ni Captain Villamaria, and hiyain niyo pong bigyan po ng justice ang inyong presensya sa hapon ito by acknowledging people who are with us here this afternoon. Unahin po natin, not necessarily in order of age or seniority, but as listed here, may I acknowledge the representative of the mayor who happens to be the wife of our classmate in PMA, Mayor Nani Cayetano, Representative the Attorney Joy Panga Cruz. Salamat po sa pagbibigay ng title sa amin at gamitin ng inyong facility. Palakpakan natin. And of course, palagi itong kasama kapag may pagtitipon dito. Tawag ko sa kanya tatay, so maraming pagkakataon na kasama po siya dito pag may occasion tayo sa Taguig. Siya po ang ama ng Barangay Manuel Quezon, Taguig, Honorable Gregorio Esprato. Hi, good to see you again. And of course, the former ABC President, Honorable Martin C. De Castro. We have with us friends of our retiree, Colonel Wilson A. Buhayo, Jeffrey C. Ulet, here, Sir Francis Perez, Police Inspector Alberto Entrada, the Deputy DGCS AP Colonel Marlito Chi, and ang aking kababayan, taga Lipa City, ang aking kapatid sa Mosileria, ang hepe ng kapulisan sa City of Taguig, Police Colonel Robert Baisa. Dito rin po yung naging katuwang ng ating honoree ng retiree sa pag-put up ng pasilidad na magpapadali sa ating mga kasama sa Coastguard sa pag-withdraw or pag-deposito ng kanilang kabuhayan. The representative of Land Bank of South Harbor, Ms. Jen Deloro, and Mr. Nelson Duca. May I also acknowledge and introduce to you the officers of the Coast Guard. Samantalayin natin ito para ipakita ang ating mga kasamahan na sumusuporta at nagmamahal kay Captain Villamaria. Your presence here today really is so important and significant in the lives of the family members of Captain Villamaria. Having the list is Commodore Alexis Calderon, Commander of Coast Guard Medical Service, my Vista, the Deputy Commander of Maritime Safety Services Command, Commodore Ramon Lopez, Commander of HRMC, Commodore Romel Supangan, Commander of Coast Guard K9 and CGIAF, Commodore Allen Dalangin. At hindi ko pala nabati agad yung principal actor. Yung bagong talaga na commander ng Vista Gig, may apology, may good friend. Kaibigan natin siya, kapatid rin natin siya, member ng class 3. Captain Christopher Anas. We have with us the commander of Coast Guard Officer School and at the same time RTC Taguig Commander, Captain Jerome Cayabyab. Noemi, the wife, the CG-12, sitting beside him. Noemi Cayabyab. The Veterinary Service Commander, Captain Pamela Asturian. The CG-11, Captain Ferdinand Montermoso. The Mayor of Coast Guard Base Parola, Captain Jonathan Galam. The Deputy Commander of Coast Guard Nursing Service, Captain Adaw Owen. Captain Giselle Espinasir, Captain Giselle, Captain Joel Ogorita, Captain Lauren Mariano, CG-10, the Deputy Commander of HMC, Captain Arvin Caspillo, the CG-7, Captain Christopher Oro, the Commander of Coastguard Dental Service, Captain Jose Q. Lim, Captain Hernan Dapitan, Espinasir, the Commander of Coastguard Dental Service, and Station STL, Captain Alde Benhar, Modernization Officer of the Coast Guard, Captain Eric Perampulo, the Controller of the Coast Guard, Captain Marlues Bedo, Commander of Coast Guard, Gender and Development, Commander Cecil Jimenez, the Deputy CG-12, Commander Juvelisa Perio, from CG Med, Dr. Jolim Padama, the in charge of Pension and Gratuity Management Center, Commander Laila Tatel, the most senior non-officer in the Coast Guard. He is representing and leading the entire non-officers corps of the Coast Guard, MCPO Angelito Bendanya, and the MCPO Coast Guard Base Taguig, CPO Mayra Thomas. At napakahalaga talaga ng pagtitipo ito dahil yung mga kasamahan natin, kaibigan niya, and retired former Commander of Coast Guard Base Taguig, Arvidas, Commodore Duque, with his lady, Mrs. Duque, and of course, Captain Ray Pabico. May I also especially acknowledge the wife of our retiree, Gigi, Mrs. Gina Maria, the wife of Commodore Senador, Mrs. Lani Senador, and our former boss, the wife of our former boss, Mrs. Gita Pardo, and of course, reserving the best for last, the 5-star general sa bahay namin, my wife, Mrs. Carlota Alves. Sa ating mga panauhin, officers ng Coast Guard, yung mga hindi nabanggit sa nawala sa listahan, ang kapit po ninyo ang aking pagbati ng isang magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon from your Coast Guardians. Today, we are honoring a man who has distinguished himself in public service. 30 years, long, honorable, and faithful service to the nation was rendered by our honoree. 30 taon po siyang naglingkod sa ating pamahalaan sa bayan. So kung kaya't napakahalaga ng pagtitipon ito para sa atin. And not only that as well, because we are giving significance and importance to the leadership of Coast Guard installations in our country. Bigyan natin ng pahalaga ang pagiging commander ng Coast Guard Base Taguig. In like manner, ganun din po kung bibigyan ng pahalaga sa iba-ibang bases na meron tayo na pag yan ay pinamahalaan ng ating kasamahang opisyal, napakalaki po ang impact, ang contribution nila sa ating pagganap ng tungkulin sa Philippine Coast Guard. Mahalaga natin nung araw, ang pagiging commander ng Coast Guard Base, iniisip nila walang kwentang assignment. Kagayan lang ng mga non-functioning officers. Pero nagbago na po ang dynamic. Binibigyan na natin ang kahalagaan dahil tunay nga po na napakahalaga ng papel na ginagampanan ng Coast Guard Base Commandant. Marami siyang tao na inaalagaan, tinuturuan, inihanda para matugunan natin ang gusto, ang trabaho natin sa Philippine Coast Guard. So kung kaya't ang pagpapalit ng administrasyon ng Commander ng Coast Guard Base Taguig to me as the Commandant of the Coast Guard really is that significant. Ganon din po ang pabibigay natin ng honor sa kanyang pagre-retire. When I was the Commander of the Coast Guard in Palawan and anywhere I was assigned to kapag may magre-retire na First Master Chief, kahit First Master Chief lang pinapahalaga ko. Ginagawa ng paraan na mabigyan ng honors that they deserve. Eh, how much more kung sa kang kapitan na magre-retire. So, mag-anak, tanggapin mo ang aming pagpapasalamat sa iyo sa iyong mahabang paglilingkod sa ating bayan. Napakalaga ng papel na ginampanan mo dito as Commander ng Coast Guard Base Taguig. One thing that I am reminded about our honoree, isa po siyang tao na tunay na may mababang kalooban. He never compare himself to others. Because as what stated in Desiderata, never compare yourself to others because we just be meter and way. Kita naman po, ang ngiti-ngiti lamang, a very jolly person, but deep inside, isa po siyang totoong tao. Another thing that I wish to share with you, yung isang talata di sa Desiderata, anong sabi, if you compare yourself to others, ano niya ito, master niya ito nung pa kami, sinasabi niya ito sa amin. Desiderata, kailangan natin sa puso yan. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and better, there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Ano ba ang sabi? As far as possible, without surrender, be in good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their own stories to tell. Yan po inialintulad yung pagkatao ng ating honoree. That's how simple he is. So, kaya nga po, tunay na dapat ibigyan natin ng pagpahalaga ang kanyang retirement. Another message that I wish to convey to all of you, the reason why I really made it sure na makarating ako dito, because of the recent events that have taken place in our troubled waters. Gusto kong ipahayag ito sa inyo dahil ito, pumupunta pa nga ako sa iba't ibang bahagi ng ating bansa sa mga district, major units ng Coast Guard, just to impart this message to all the Coast Guard personnel. And I want it heard loud and clear by our people. The troubled waters, the contested waters have been contentious and have been the test of our resolve as one Filipino people. Tayong Coast Guard, we are now in the front line in our country's advocacy in asserting our sovereign rights in West Philippine Sea. Ang aking presensya at ang aking role at dapat bigyan din ay ibigyan ng emphasis sa ating mga kasama sa Coast Guard na tayo ay may napakahalagang papel na dapat gampanan na nakaatas sa ating balikat sapagkat malinaw ang statement, ang posisyon ng ating Presidente that what is ours will remain to be ours. That we will not lose, not even a square inch of our territory. Kaya ang Coast Guard na nasa front line. So ano dapat lagi natin iisipin? Let us always keep in mind the provision stipulated in our enabling law. Anong sinasabi doon sa Republic Act 9993? In times of war, the Coast Guard will be under the Department of National Defense. And even before this development in West Philippine Sea, Yun na rin po ang advocacy ang ginagawa natin sa Coast Guard. We are preparing the mindset of every Coast Guardian. We are enjoying all the men and women of the Coast Guard to continue to master the much needed determination and courage to act positively and endure and overcome. Kailangan tayo ay laging handa. We cannot depart from the military's way of developing their own people. The reason why we are instituting and strengthening the culture, the following culture in the Coast Guard: the culture of discipline, the culture of respect, culture of competence, culture of teamwork, culture of good human relations. Tayong Coast Guard, dahil na napakalaga ng trabaho ng gagampanan natin, that is way, way far beyond kung ano yung ating traditional na trabaho. I want all the PCG personnel to always keep in mind that the Coast Guard is now in the front line of our government in asserting the sovereign rights of our country. We are expected to uphold the position of our Commander-in-Chief that our government will not leave not even a single square inch of our territory. While we may not have the advantage of having larger and more sophisticated vessels, our unwavering determination and strong will to uphold our dignity as one solid nation, solid and independent nation, and assert our sovereign rights will undoubtedly make a significant difference. Doon tayo nakikilala sa mga pagkakataong ito. We should make a stand. Kailangan ay nasa sa ating puso ang paglilingkod sa bayan. The sense of patriotism, nationalism must dwell within each and every Coast Guardian. Dapat ay nakahanda tayo. As we continually master our courage, may I remind all the Coast Guardians to never lose sight of the aspirations that we set forth at the beginning of my term as the Commandant of the Coast Guard. The aspirations that we set, that we will accomplish together. Una, that we will elevate the Coast Guard to the next level of success in doing public service. Pangalawa, that we will make the Coast Guard as a symbol of hope and a source of national pride of this great maritime nation. Sama-sama natin at ipagpatuloy natin gampanan yung dalawang aspirasyon na ating isinet noong unang araw na maging commandant ako. In our aspirations, in our pursuit of fulfilling those aspirations, we need to be constantly reminded that we must cultivate and nurture the following virtues: culture of competence, culture of discipline, culture of courage, culture of teamwork. And all these things are encapsulated, clearly encapsulated in the famous teachings of Charles de Gaulle in his famous masterpiece, The Military Professionalism. So I enjoin everyone, all the Coast Guardians, to look back, review the statements written by Charles de Gaulle in his masterpiece, The Military Professionalism. We cannot deviate and from the way we cannot deviate from the way military is doing their thing in times of adversities. So dapat tayo ay laging handa. We must have the courage, the determination, the will, and the deepest sense of nationalism and patriotism as Coast Guardians. Kung kayo man ay hindi naka-assign sa frontline, hindi man kayo naka-assign sa barko, hindi man kayo naka-assign sa station o sa district na affected doon sa ating operations sa West Philippine Sea, but always keep in mind and never ever forget na mga Coast Guard kayo. Darating ang araw, mabibigyan din kayo ng chance na ma-assign doon, and the services will be expected of you in upholding our quest to retain what is ours to remain to be ours. So, kaya ang aking mensahe sa inyo, mga taga-Coast Guard Base Taguig, all the officers, men and women of the Coast Guard. Let us continue to closely work together. For the officers, I am enjoining you to become exemplars in the exercise of leadership and champions in bringing people together. That is the only way, the best way of making a strong Coast Guard, of making a reliable and very professional Coast Guard for our country. So kung kaya't ang aking pasasalamat sa Captain Moises Villamaria for leading Coast Guard base here for a little less than 1 year, almost 1 year. Because I clearly remember it right, when I assumed as the Commandant of the Coast Guard, I instituted massive movement in the Coast Guard. Kasama doon ang pag-alit ng Coast Guard base here. Thank you for leading the men and women of Coast Guard base here for almost 1 year. And thank you for your long and faithful service to the nation. And my message to the new installed commander of Coast Guard base keep the flame of service burning. Continue leading the men and women of Coast Guard base Inspire them. Make them feel at home with everyone, and continue the legacy of the Coast Guard in furthering the reach of our service to the community. Establish rapport and good relations with our stakeholders. Makita natin na ang Coast Guard ay isang ahensya na maaasahan ng ating pamayanan. So again, my congratulations to our honorees. My gratitude to all of you in attendance today. Maraming salamat po for being here. And isang magandang hapon po muli sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Holy Spirit, now and forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Once again, good afternoon.
Hi. Well, shout out everyone. We'd like to request everyone to support. Walang iba kundi Latigo Vlog. Yan, ito po si Jay ng J Brothers.
Thank you, Kuya.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you.